Welcome in, everybody. Come on. Let's get in the chat. Let's start talking. I know it's a little bit late. Listen, when you have kids, sometimes they do things and they just make you have to push your plans back a bit. It's just the way it is. It's the way life rolls. So, I'm rolling with the punches tonight. I hope you guys are too. And boy, did Atlanta United roll with the punches tonight in a raucous heavyweight slog. I mean, this was a bunch of like haymakers. This was a bunch of teams just going at each other's throat. It was exciting to say the very least about it. I was entertained. I was at the time hosting a watch party with a bunch of friends. We were all on the edge of our seats, to say the least, the whole time. You know, it was like, where's this game going to go? Where's it going to take us? We're not sure. Where's it going to end up? One of our, Glenn from the 5 Takes was with us tonight, and boy, it was like suicide watch with him a bit. Like, he was gloom and doom, like, it's going to go wrong. It's going to go wrong the whole time. And hey, it kind of did, but it kind of didn't. At times, ups and downs. I mean, we'll talk about it, but I have to start the narrative tonight by at least saying we need to reframe this conversation. Some people, like Glenn, for instance, tonight, upset about the fact that, you know, this has playoff implications, very real ones for us. And this is also not a win. However, this is against the Red Bulls. This is our boogeyman. This is our, Goliath to our David. And tonight, just like with Miami, we were able to make a team bleed that typically walks all over us. So, for me, this is a complete change of pace. This is a complete about face, about what happens typically when we go and play Red Bull. Red Bull is lost points, all of them, all 3. Every time, it seems like. Yeah, we draw them a good amount, but like, we look bad doing the draws. And when we lose, it's worse. This game, it looked like, just like with the Miami match, you give this game a little bit longer, we could win this thing. We could have pulled this out. The hope is there. This team fights for the whole time. Last 2 games, we thought maybe they wouldn't show up because the pattern was up, down. But this game, they tried again. They continued the consistent effort. Ebbs and flows in certain parts of the game, of course, as every game will have, especially when you have rotation. And I mean, these games are coming quick, a lot. So guys are getting tired. But at the end of the day, we were able to get a result. 1 point. Yeah, it's difficult in terms of playoff implication, but if you watched our episode earlier this week, I said 3-1 loss. I didn't think we were going to pull this out. I thought we were going to go back to being the old Atlanta United against them, but wasn't the case. These are tough teams for us. Miami, literally best player in the world, Messi. Red Bull, a team we just can't figure out. Figured them out kind of tonight. A little bit. We could have beat them. We were close. I mean, Red Bull had their chances too, and if they'd taken them, but, they've had their issues about being clinical. This could have been anyone's game. Typically, it's not the way it goes. Typically, we want to get out of New Jersey faster than we got there. But not tonight. Not tonight. We were there for another round or 2 if they would have us, but they didn't. They blew the whistle at, 101 or whatever it was. They wanted to end the game as much as we did, probably. They had enough of us. So, I really am happy we could give them as much as we could usually get from them, and it's usually a lot worse. We made them frustrated. We annoyed them. I'm sure if you look at Red Bull Twitter, they're upset. And that's something you can hang your hat on, you can be happy about. So usually we don't make fan bases unhappy, at least not lately, but I think we can get back to that, and at least maybe this is a start. Anyway, so that was a long-winded thing. We're here now with AJ. AJ, how are you doing? You were at the watch party. You felt a lot of that energy. How did you feel about the game? And what does this say about, the team in general and our implications for the future for the rest of the season?
Oh, we'll address that first, maybe. Yeah, I mean, because this result obviously does not help us in our quest for the playoffs. This is, make no bones about it, our worst season in our history. The 2020 season, that had a lot of caveats. This season, absolute no excuse. But yeah, there's a lot of difficulty going into this match. New York Red Bulls haven't won in 11 games. We haven't beat them in 11 games. But going into this match, yeah, it's the hopes are not high. We knew it was going to be a test, even in spite of, their recent form, their winless form. But we made this interesting. We absolutely were a team that I think looked completely different on the road under Rob Valentino. Look like we are a team that can fight, can get points, are not a completely anemic side. And yet, the difficulty for us has been finishing off our chances and also keeping leads. And it just kind of rears its ugly head again. But yet, as well, New York Red Bulls, they peppered our goal. Brad Guzan had to stand on his head. Again, we just cannot keep a lead. This team cannot keep a lead. And it spoils a really, really good performance by Brad Guzan, where a couple of saves from two counters, where he's almost essentially one-on-one. The penalty save, I mean, just after saving 0 in the past 7 seasons, I think he saved what, 3 penalties this season?
I feel like that's right. It's at least like 2. It could be 3. I think it might be 3.
Yeah. I mean, maybe there was another one where it was just like a miss, but he, is able to pull
sometimes
off.
It's hard. Yeah, I mean, but you got to give credit to at least the keeper a little bit when the guy misses. At least that's my opinion about penalty kicks.
Right. So either way, I mean, Brad Guzan, like, whatever he's on, 40 years old right now.
He's on that adrenochrome. That's what he's on.
Yeah, something, man. Like, he is having himself a season in the sense that.
You want to talk about? What Jennifer at the watch party coined the term?
Yeah, indeed, the Guzanaissance.
Yes. Post that, hashtag that. It's going to come out in the 5 Takes podcast. I know Jennifer's going to talk about it. I was the one who came up with the term, so we're going to throw it out there. Hashtag Guzanaissance. If you don't know how to spell Renaissance, it's a little tricky. It's French, I get it. Google it, and then add Guzan, and there you go. You're good.
There you go. I retweeted it out on the.
There you go.
United
so you know.
Twitter. So there it is. Or X, whatever you want to call it. But I think it's also this. It's like, okay, we get a penalty of our own. Alexei Miranchuk, he just very calm, very collected, and his penalty is just it's almost like no fuss, really. Like that's what you want, just cold-blooded. Like, he just passed it into the back of the net, sent the keeper the wrong way too. Before that,
just those hips, man. Yeah.
It's those Russian hips. But it's that. It's Edwin Mosquero's, man, that curler. Wow. I mean,
all right, that might be a whole guest segment we talk about Edwin's curler. That was we can really go into that. That's a holy hell. Like,
right? Because he's on the right side.
You gonna tell me this game's to be decided by an Edwin Mosquera worldie?
Yeah, like, because this is the thing too. It's like, yeah, for him to pop up on the left side for one, and then two, try that shot, have the confidence to do it, and then pull it off for the go-ahead goal. Okay, we're gonna eschew what happened for the moment after that, but there was a little bit of a Pele celebration. He was hoisted up on the shoulders, hand up in the air. I mean, he was feeling it. He was feeling some of that Brazilian bravado, even though he's Colombian. Like, yeah, just wild scenes. Unfortunately, as Glenn from the Five Takes was just very doom and gloom, he felt like, yeah, an equalizer was coming from New York Red Bulls, and yeah, the long throws were dangerous. Yeah, it's something that I've called for as well. Of we need to have more feathers, in our wing, bows in our quiver, whatever you want to call it.
Arrows in our quiver.
Arrows in our quiver. There you go. My bow works. No, never mind. It doesn't.
No,
yeah,
no.
It's arrow. It's arrow. But either way, we need more things to be able to get each percentage of, finding ways to win matches. And yeah, not just relying on individual talent, which, yeah, seems to be more of what is the case. But yeah, I mean, it's a match that is going to frustrate a lot of people. It's a match that's excited some people. I mean, the very fact that we are playing much better on the road than years, in some years, it's a good thing at the very least there, because, I mean, we can rewind to earlier this season when just watching some of these games away were slogs.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah. And then plus not winning at home, it just, so, yeah, we haven't been winning at home recently either. Again, this is one of the worst seasons, if not the worst season for Atlanta United.
And it's a weird season on top of it too. It's so weird.
Yeah,
like,
but
how are we winning more or like getting results more away, like than getting results at home? Like, it's wild to me.
It I think exemplifies how bad of a season it is in that. But yeah,
it's like these away matches should be like foregone conclusions, especially against teams that have absolutely destroyed us at their home in the past. I mean, it's wild to me. Like, usually when you look at Red Bull away on the Atlanta United, schedule, even at our best, Red Bull could still take it to us. But for whatever reason, not the case this year. I don't know, man. It's wild.
It's yeah, go figure. But I think it has something to do with it's because we don't want to play with the ball, and so them kind of not exactly wanting to play with the ball, but a little bit more this season. Yeah, it's made them more vulnerable as a team in terms of kind of be able to play both sides of the ball. And yeah, they look vulnerable in the senses that, yeah, they can be countered now. They're not a team that's, I think, ultimately from a defensive standpoint, look as stout as they used to. But yeah, they still are a more fit team than we are.
Yes.
I think that first half just showed the discrepancies between, or the divide, maybe is a better word, between the two sides as far as fitness levels. We're second to a lot of balls. Yeah. We weren't really able to press very high, and yeah, it's just like Red Bulls just look like a team that's just from an off the ball standpoint, I mean, just more devoted, more committed to the cause, and
because that's how they know that's where they know they win, is in those little chances, those little moments, and they got their dues today. And that one goal that was called back too, it's like a perfect example of that too. Just getting in and just keep trying shit, and eventually something cracks.
Because they're so direct.
Yeah,
they're so direct. They're, they play all the percentage plays. They may not have all the quality, and especially without Emil Forsberg, especially without.
Gosh, I'm so happy he wasn't in this game.
That. I think we thank our lucky stars a little bit there, but Lewis Morgan, he was still there. He had his
always a boogeyman for us.
Right, even with his time, of course, with Inter Miami too. But it's just that it's like, a game that frustrates, but ultimately we do enough to get a point. Whether it's going to allow us to get into the playoffs, I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'm not sure it matters in the long run. Do we deserve to be in the playoffs? I don't know. I mean, I feel like we've talked about in the past. I remember saying recently, the only reason I want to be in the playoffs is basic. Not that we deserve it, because I don't think we do, but to exclusively just make another fan base very upset. Like, oh, we took your spot. Sorry, we don't belong here, but maybe you do, but we took your spot, so it sucks to suck. Sorry, try next year. And they're just like, damn, like, we could have actually maybe done something in the playoffs. And it's like, well, you'll never know because you're not in it. So, that kind of like salt I'll be there for, but outside of that, I mean, we're going to go out round one if we go against the top team, unless it's Miami, and then maybe we can just... The black magic continues. Who knows? But
I mean, obviously they're gonna get a bye, but so it might be
fair.
It might be
okay, fair. Yeah.
Columbus.
Well, you know how that goes. So anyway, before we get off of the I just want to say one thing is, like, you talk about the fitness. It reminded me. I have this thing I think about when I think of the Red Bulls. I felt like it was like a team of 100-meter sprinters versus like long-distance runners on our team. It was just like every time these guys would just be like, okay, when I get the ball, it's fine. I'll just burst sprint past my guy every single time. Like, all their players thought, like, this is the way you play. Whereas all our guys are like, I'm not going to burst by this guy, so I'm going to pass. I'm going to try and do something to, progress the ball with the understanding I'm just not going to burst by the guy. Whereas on the other side, Red Bull's just like, I'm just going to sprint, and I'm going to win that sprint. And it was wild to see. And we see it every time. Red Bull's just a lot of fast players. It's interesting to see, like, it's just like a team of mascaras. Like, they're not individually talented, but like, they get at you because they always get there because they're fast. It's wild to see.
Yeah, I mean, it's the Red Bull system, as we are all too familiar with by now, and it just is where LA United. Yeah, if we adopt some of the best things from each club, I think those are the things that we can, move forward with. But boy, there's some long roads towards that. But yeah, we have Nick in the house, rocking the.
Welcome, Nick. How you doing tonight?
Wow. After that emotional roller coaster of a match, my God.
Mm-hmm. I mean, the past week.
Yeah.
I think that there is an imprint of my head in one of the bars at the Atlanta Eagle right now after we got leveled back at 2-2. And oh, God.
Yeah.
For the benefit of everybody else, that is where All Stripes had our watch party tonight, is at the Atlanta Eagle, by the way. A small, modest crowd was there. and we lived every emotional moment right along with all y'all in the fan base.
Concur. Yeah, it was. When Mascara scored, everyone's on their feet. When
it's impossible. Yeah. It's impossible, and it happened.
Each save from Braguzan, it's just screams of delight or incredulous feeling. Yeah,
because that doesn't happen. 9 times out of 10, that won't happen, and we lose 2-1. That's just what normally should. That's how the universe corrects itself, but it didn't tonight.
Mm-hmm. But I mean, how'd you find the match in terms of in terms of moments? Were there some highlights for you?
Definitely Guzan's penalty kick save. I mean, that man just has come up and pulled so many rabbits out of his hat at so many moments, not just this season, but overall. And listening to your conversation earlier, I went back and checked, and if my numbers are correct, that is the 6th penalty kick he's faced this season, and he's been 50-50, right?
Yep.
50-50 down the line.
Boom. That memory is ironclad in here. Thank you for doing the research. But
I was curious, so there you go.
Yeah, and I mean, I thought it was actually 5, maybe in terms of penalties that he faced. So yeah, 6 makes sense. But man, I mean, it's just what do you think is behind the fountain of youth for him this season?
Well, odd, irrelevant fact is that my husband, Greg, is 3 days older than him.
Mm-hmm.
I'm probably going to get my husband doxxed now, but...
yeah. He's probably not making saves in a
he
penalty
makes saves
box.
in the household. I mean, that counts.
It does.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But I'm a loss for words. I mean... It's just how many times he came up big just overall in the match tonight. My goodness.
How about the when Morgan tried to chip him, got the big paw up there? That was wild.
Yeah.
When does
doing the Brad Guzan chant
chips?
and the eagle at that point.
I'm like, oh man, a chip. I mean, like if you're gonna ask me, okay, someone's gonna try and chip Guzan tonight. Is that gonna work? I'd be like 1,000% yes. It's absolutely gonna work. But because I just feel like the dude doesn't have the reflexes. But he was the angle, the reflexes were there. It was amazing. I was like, this is a like not a defining moment, but this is an integral moment of this match where you change the momentum of the game again, like we saw in the previous match with Miami, where Almador blocked it with his body. People took that momentum, went forward like that. Like when your goalie makes a massive save like that, and then the things he did earlier or later in the game too. It's just like he's giving so much of mana, so much energy to the team,
Aura, if you will.
Yeah. He's giving the team a passive buff. If there's any video gamers in the chat.
Yeah.
And then his left foot being in the right place at the right time to save that other shot.
Yeah, the deflected shot.
That deflected shot. That very easily could have went right past him and in the goal.
Right.
But it was just the universe was aligned correctly at that moment for us.
Right. Yeah, last year it's past him and then he falls down.
Yes, that's right. He gets sniped by a sniper and he's done.
Exactly. Yeah. It's completely it's a 180 of performance completely, and I mean, I think you need context to see how good he is with the ball at his feet too, with Josh Cohen to realize okay, so we have an option on Brad Guzan next year. Nick, would you exercise that option as of today?
It's a tough question.
It is.
I would hold off on that decision till the season is over.
Fair.
That's not the question, Nick.
But that is the best
as of today. Okay,
answer,
I will answer the question. unlike other parties in America, I will answer the question.
They didn't have a moderator like me.
That's right.
Wait a minute, where's my mute button?
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
I'd keep him. You know, I mean, he just knows how to come up big, not just for Atlanta United, but across his entire career. You know, I'd keep him. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, he's proved his worth. He's saved us time and time and time again. And people love to get on his back when he just gets scored on, you know. But he's a consistent leader. When he gets pissed, and he lets you know it, you know. I mean, you've seen some of the hype videos the team has posted on social media and YouTube. They're constantly bleeping every fourth word out. That's passion. That's passion. That's leadership. You've got to say it like it is when your players aren't performing. When you're the captain, that's leadership.
Right.
So that comes with experience, you know. So I keep him. You know, I can't see any reason to let go of him at this point.
Yeah, I'll remind people to not let your appraisal of him right now be influenced by what you saw last season, because it's clear that, you know, him recovering from the surgery, what we know about the prognosis of that particular surgery is that the next year they don't perform as well as they can. They're not at their max potential. It seems like he has gotten back to his max potential now, and this is what he is. This is what you are buying going into next season. A relatively competent keeper, maybe not the best shot stopper, decent delivery, but he has a lot of leadership. And, you know, for what I understand him to be in terms of stats, the guy puts up numbers that are at least slightly above average, which is good in MLS. So, I mean, I remember last year, he was in like the bottom 10th percentile or whatever it was when it came to a lot of things, especially shot stopping. And it's like, yeah, I get it. Let's move on. Why are we re-upping on him? But Brad probably told everybody, including the front office, like, this isn't my max. I don't know. I mean, I get. He can't say to the fan base in press conferences, I'm not at my max. I'm not at my best. Because then that might be taken out of context. Other teams might see that as weakness, things like this. So I get why he doesn't say it, but that's probably what happened. That's my take, at least, about it.
Let's get into the chat real quick.
So I guess it is late. We're basically starting at 11:30. So I apologize about that again. You know, mea culpa is all around, right? But Sniper 19 says, thanks for stopping by again. I haven't seen your name in a while in the chat, but I do recognize you. You said Guzan's still doing superhero work at 40. We just lack the quality through the middle, and again, our crosses. Still, we saw fight, and now we need to hone it in. I think honing it in is I think, this team doesn't, that's the thing too. We start honing in and we start crafting right now. I don't know, because it's like a lot of these players are going to be gone next year. So it's like we develop a lot.
I don't know if honing in is the right word.
Exactly. But that's what's happening, though. It is starting to hone. Like, we are honing, but it's like we don't that's the thing. I don't know if we want to necessarily hone right now, because the team will change drastically next season.
Should change drastically. Yeah. Because if we enter with the same roster at the start of 2025, we are in trouble.
Oh, yeah. Nick, do you think we will?
No. And I was just thinking about the point I made about Guzan. A new coach could come in, a new general manager could come in to decide he's too old, clean house, him with it, you know. That could happen. You have to look at both sides, you know. Could decide to gut almost the entire roster, you know, which admittedly they should. I mean, that's what we've been saying all along.
Because it's this.
A lot of turnover is coming. Go ahead.
Yeah. Because that's what it is. It's like, can we find better? Yes, 100%. We can find a lot better for most of this roster. I mean,
goalie. Name 3.
In terms of actual players, not my job. Not concerned. Not concerned with you know. If you guys want that to be my job, we could talk about that.
Yeah.
But
it requires payment.
You know,
But yeah.
Yeah.
Because it takes him away from his actual job to do that job.
Yeah.
So then you have to compensate.
Right. I mean, if you want me to scout players, that's a whole different thing, you know? Like, yeah, we absolutely need to be scouting better players. We absolutely need to be bringing players in better contracts, in in more shrewd moves, in ways that I think complement each other in a system that actually has an identity.
Comment from the chat, Doug Levine, sorry if I said that wrong, said, I'm glad we didn't give up. I'm sad we couldn't hold the lead. Yeah, it's sad we couldn't hold the lead, but the fact that we had a lead on Red Bulls away, to me, is like, you're already playing with house money, baby. Like,
exactly.
Like, what are we doing here? It's insane.
Is this improvement?
Yeah.
Like, it kind of feels like improvement.
If you were going to tell me we were winning away in 2024 against Red Bulls,
you're batshit crazy.
And one of the best Red Bull teams historically of all time, like, and when we get the lead from a Mascaro Worldy, like, what universe are you living in?
Right. Yeah, I think it would have been where, like, in a vacuum.
You can't write this.
Yeah, in a vacuum, it would seem like, man, are we having one of our best seasons ever? Like, what had to have happened that
this seems like an end of 2023 game. You know, those games where the goals were coming from everywhere. It could fit in there, maybe. Outside of that,
Yeah.
Yorgo Sakamaki scores one. Okay. Then Mascara gets a worldie. Okay, all right.
Mm. I mean, yeah,
it's
like
a Star Trek mirror universe. That's what it is.
Yeah. Oh, dude. Yeah, dude. Marvel multiverse theory going on here.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, if like Yakumakis was in this match, I think he would have been entirely way too frustrated. He would have probably already gotten a yellow. And, you know, it's you probably, and that probably would have been for Descent. Instead, in this universe, it was for Saba.
Yeah, Saba gets yellow. And I said in the Discord chat right before that happened, I was saying, Saba, don't yak at the ref. You're going to get a card. Don't rack. And then the card came out.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, he was gesticulating very, broadly, and also just could not stop somebody. This is the one problem. Maybe one problem. There's one of the many problems.
One problem?
Yeah, that we have with the keeper being the captain is that there's nobody that can, speak with the ref, be that voice on the field in the middle of the park when things are going wrong. And Saba, it wasn't even a foul. Like, frankly, I agree with Saba, but
yeah,
you gotta
Time
stop.
And place.
Yep.
Time and a place. That's true. Yeah. All right, Nick.
But
so
what do we
go
what
ahead.
do we think about VAR checking that possible foul on the leveling goal over the back?
Oh yeah.
Some people
I didn't
are
like
saying
that.
that.
I didn't
was
like
a
that.
Foul.
I didn't like that. I didn't like what he did.
It is a foul. It is a foul because he never went for the ball. He impeded him, and it honestly could have been a penalty. So, but ultimately, there was another. The ball went away from the play. It continued, and it's a whole different story. But I mean, the whole thing is like, I think we got by with the skin of our teeth a little bit in some moments. I mean, lots of goal chances, and I think it's also, yeah. I mean, Fortune initially was lucky. Like, I don't know why it took us so long to get the goal kick. Just like, oh my god, like somebody on the sidelines, because usually they're, at least at this point, there's somebody watching the game, and maybe with an earpiece in, and one of the coaching staff has to be like recognizing that, hey, okay, no, we just need it.
That kick resulted in a penalty, right?
Which kick?
The Fortune kick.
Yeah, exactly. But that's what I mean, is that the goal.
Sorry, I got confused.
From Brad Guzan, like, should have been immediately, like,
after the penalty. Rolling. Right. Yeah. Okay.
Exactly. Yeah. Like, because there was this moment where they weren't really looking at it. They were just, it was more because there are a couple injuries, and so it's like, okay, all right, well, I get that, but.
So Nick, did you have a different opinion about the what led with that, the old Hunchback of Notre Dame technique that Red Bulls used to get that ball to fall neatly to an attacker?
It seemed to me like it was a pre-planned play, right place, right time kind of play. Like it was drawn somewhere on the sandlot during practice. It's too convenient for the sake of being convenient. That it's just not. It's somewhere in between luck and design for me.
So I guess you can just jump on top of a player like that.
Well,
right? That's legal.
Again,
then,
I'm
right?
no expert, but
right, AJ? That's cool, right?
I mean, it's such a complicated, like, I don't know. I don't even know if I want to get into it.
All right, we'll see if one of the other guests bring it up tonight. Nick, thank you very much for hanging out. Give us your final thoughts before we let you go.
Well, the boys showed a lot of promise for me, and I was writing it off in the first 30 minutes as that, especially the first goal. They looked like the same old garden gnomes on defense, several blue jerseys within the 18-yard box. I'm like, oh God, this again. But then they flipped the script and started attacking and just playing as they should, pushing the narrative down the field. And when we got that penalty in stoppage time of the first half, we went level into the locker room. I was enthused. I thought, okay, we're hanging in there. We're doing good. And then that second half was just a roller coaster. And this whole season's been a roller coaster. And we're in Philly next Saturday, and we got to deal with them flopping all over the field. Standard Philly playbook.
Don't have Jose Martinez.
Yes. Goodness gracious!
I tell you, Philly and DC play tomorrow night. The standings are very crucial to us at this point, considering that we're all tied. Philly, Atlanta, DC.
Yeah,
Nashville,
this is a 6-point
all
game.
At 33 points.
It is a 6-point game, 100%.
It's a tough one. Yeah, we almost need them to probably actually both draw, or whoever we deem as probably more of a threat to actually get into the playoffs. We want them to lose.
I'm sure whoever handles the mathematics and the calculus to determine what is the best matchups and whatever on Reddit will do that, and we will let you know when we find that out. Because I know I'm not
Good
doing
luck.
that. All right, Nick. Thank you very much for hanging out. Thanks for stopping by late. And we'll talk to you next time when we. Sorry, what were you saying, AJ?
No, I said always a pleasure. Take care.
Yeah. All right, man.
Thank you, gentlemen. Have a good night.
You too. Take care, man.
Yep.
All right. So, we don't have anyone in the chat tonight. It is a quiet night. Everyone's tired. I get it. It's late.
It's midnight. Yeah,
if anyone else has anything, please let us know, because we'll be going through how we go through.
I think something that we haven't talked about is Williams' non-clearance for the goal, which essentially his little kick away instead of just clearing it into the stands, maybe instead for a corner. Yeah, I mean, it led to the second goal, the equalizer. And
I mean, could he have done anything else from that?
I feel like yes. The way that it was kind of aimlessly kicked away and back into trouble versus just punting it into Rose.
He was facing our goal and kicked it left, as far left as he could get it, which in his mind, I guess, is as far away from goal as he could do. But I don't know if he knew that there were opponents there.
I mean, I think it's that. It's like, it's always the when in doubt, just kick it out. And yeah, there were too many players in the box.
Yeah,
we were
up in the air, is what you're saying.
Up in the air or into the stands. I would have preferred into the stands to take the corner, whatever. It's I think it's a way lesser percentage than a throw-in, because they were showing how dangerous they were from throw-ins.
True.
They were causing some chaos.
True.
But, yeah.
All right, we're joined with Connor. Connor, how you doing? Late night Fan TV after dark. We're in the AM now. How you doing now that we're here?
I'm doing pretty good. We still got some games on, I think, don't we?
I think so.
Yeah, there's 2 games on still, so late night in MLS.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, it was a good game. I enjoyed it. It was pretty kind of what I expected. They were gonna have more opportunities. They were probably gonna have the better of the chances. I kind of a 2-2 draw. I think it's fine. I'm fine with it. I think it works for me. It works for the team. I think going into this game, we were probably thinking this is 0 points. We're gonna have to get the 7 that we most likely need from the other 4.
That was where I was at.
Yeah, I was.
Yeah, Connor, what did you think? What did you think the XG for Red Bulls in Atlanta was gonna be tonight?
Red Bull. See, once I saw the starting lineup, I figured it would be 1 something, 1, right around 1. For Red Bull, for me, it could have been anywhere from 1 to 5. I think
that's the one. Yes, chaos ball is what they're good at. 100%.
Exactly.
So first half, let me learn you up real quick. First half, 0.87 for Red Bull at XG. We had a 1.36. Second half, they had a 2.9 XG, and we had a 0.25.
So you gotta think we only created 0.5 from open play though, because a penalty is 0.8 something. So
something we haven't talked about. Yeah, the lineup, which was a little bit different. Cobb in, one of the midfielders out. So definitely as far as forwards wise, a little bit more limited. Just Saba, TRA. Did you feel like it was the right move?
So going in, I thought this was going to be the conversation front. I thought this was going to be the big thing, was we lost, and was this the right decision to change formation to put in the extra defender? I thought it was a good idea, and I thought the selection decision was the right one, because it was going to be a transitional game, and Cobb is the best transitional defender that we have, outside of maybe Morales, but they're not an aerial team, so Cobb's the best transitional for me, so I think that was the right idea. We played it pretty well, because I think we have our midfielders that we had in there could cover the ground, along with having Saba tracking back and doing legwork, so we had enough movement there. So I liked it, and I think it worked kind of how we wanted. Not exactly. I thought we wanted us to be on the ball slightly more, once we got it out of our first defense, because we know they were going to press. As soon as we got there, we wanted Alexi and the other 2 midfielders to really possess right in there, and then we could counter. thought we did better in that in the second half than we did in the first half, because we only really saw it well in like maybe 4 to 5 times that we actually got through the press and then made it worth anything. So
yeah, I mean, I think for me, Stian Gregerson is our best kind of safety valve, or kind of anybody. Like he basically he allows us to play a higher line than I think we maybe deserve to without him.
Kind of miles of the past.
Exactly, and
get out of it jail free.
Yeah, for sure. But either way, yeah, it's the way that we played in this kind of either 5-back or 3-5-2, whatever we want to call it. But yeah, it definitely seemed to lack some inventiveness, maybe
100%.
cohesiveness. Yeah, but because I don't think players knew where they were supposed to be, where they were going to be, and especially. I mean, there was one moment, Saba, he's on a counter, he's got Tiare running with him, and the ball is just too heavy. And
oh yeah, I remember that one.
Yeah, way too heavy.
Yeah, I remember that one.
That stuff is the brutal part, because the very fact that we have a counter against New York Red Bulls, not that common,
Yeah.
But we can't find the final ball. It's just like symptomatic of this season. But I mean, for you, I mean, it's like attack wise. I mean, put your coaching cap on as best as you can here. What would you have done differently?
I see the issue is like we're so limited in the personnel that we have that I don't know if you can do something differently there. I think wingers just get absorbed in their play with how the Red Bulls play, and kind of like Rios. I think he gets dominated by their center backs because they have big physical guys.
Yeah, I agree.
I think that Tiare was the right move to start him. Wingers, it's the weird thing of if we can catch them in the counter, we probably would have been better. Like I think if we had a 4-2-3-1 and we had 2 guys wide, I think we probably could have capitalized on it better. But you kind of conversely, do your wingers track back and cover like playing in a 5-back? Maybe not. It's kind of whenever you're playing the 5-back, you take off some of the attacking prowess to put defensively, and I don't think you could do. I think either way you're gonna see differences that are kind of just come with whatever system you decided to play in. I think Rob did the safest of the 2 options, which I mean I think.
How can you blame him? You're going up against the Red Bulls away. Yeah.
And maybe it was with some history in mind. Maybe obviously one of our most famous results was with a 3-5-2, in Red Bull Arena, where we were able to basically play anti-football. And wouldn't that have been the most ironic part? I'll say that again, just in case. But wouldn't that have been the most ironic part for their fans if we had gone in there, played anti-football, and their fans are just pissed?
Yeah.
How dare Atlanta United be that just negative and pragmatic against us?
Yeah.
Would have been sweet vindication if we had gotten that result. But.
I mean, they're still probably annoyed about it. It's because we played like a little. I wanted us to frustrate them, regardless of the result. What happens? I just wanted to be. I want to look at their like Twitter later and then just see the Red Bull universe upset, to be like, this fucking team. Like, I want to see that. I want to see that frustration, because they've been that frustration for us for so long. It's good to finally give it back to them a little bit. A little terrorist football for them. They can deal with it.
Yeah, it's true, exactly. Because this is the best that I've seen them on the ball, and yet,
Oh, God forbid they try to play the game. Jesus.
Yeah, right. but it is, and I think we saw too that Raguzan, he wisened up. It was like, okay, we're just kicking along. Like, it doesn't even matter. Like,
again, same as Miami. Mm-hmm. Man, if this is who we are, I'm okay with it. Like, we get results like this away, I'm okay with it. Let's go. Like, all right. Play your game, whatever, at home when you think you're against a weaker opponent. But, like, when you're against these teams, be pragmatic and do this type of, Raguzan, send it. Just salvo after salvo. Give it the old howitzer. Throw everyone forward. Let's go. That's the way I feel like, upend things, Flip it. Flip the table. Like, imagine it has chicken and rice on it. Just get fucking wild with it,
Can we talk about how New York Red Bulls aren't last place for possession? I think this is the first year that I've ever seen that. Yeah. Which we also got to talk about the terrorism football that Charlotte play. God awful.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but it is. They are trying to incorporate different aspects of it.
They do the unfun terrorism football though. They don't do the high pressure. Like, they do the just hoof it long and our 4 defenders sit back while everyone else tries to do something. At least the Red Bulls try and make it fun.
Right. It's Dean Smith football where
100%.
Like, it's effective. I mean, they're in a good place in the standings for that reason. And man, ultimately, we all want beautiful football, but the difficulty of playing that in MLS and winning.
Salary cap, man.
It ain't easy. And, it takes, a legendary coach to kind of do that, or,
superstars.
Superstars. But if we think about it, it's like every coach that we've had that when we've tried to play protagonist football, I mean, I wouldn't say Frank de Boer, that we were always trying to.
No, he knew.
I think we were pragmatic.
He knew. Yeah. We frustrated so many teams by winning 1-0 when we shouldn't. That was him going okay, you told me I had a Ferrari I'm driving like a minivan, but I have the minivan. What the fuck do I do with a minivan? I'm going to drive it like that, and I'm going to play in such a way that it's going to frustrate the other team. I'm not going to think I have a Ferrari because I don't. But the fan base thinks I do still. That's the frustration with Frank de Boer, to a degree at least. So,
Right.
I'm not gonna give him, so many. I'm not gonna throw all the blame on him when it comes to that season, because we were one freaking penalty kick away from hosting MLS Cup and likely winning it, because Seattle really wasn't that good at the end of the day.
Right. And I mean, we don't need to get too deep into 2019, but it is also the talent on that team way different.
Yeah.
Way different than what we're seeing on the pitch right now. But Connor, any other things that you feel like
talk about the equalizer from Red Bull. That seems controversial, so give us your take.
Personally, I don't find it that controversial in my opinion. I think it's a play that happens most of the time in soccer nowadays, or football, whatever you want to call it. I think it happens a lot more than we think. It just happened to be on a goal, and it usually isn't called anymore. And the one thing for me is he is so far up on, it's not just that he gets an advantage, because I think he does. It's that he already is winning. I think if who was not Amador, he was the one that he was on the back of. I think if he jumps and is anywhere near the ball, he gets a free kick on it. But he just doesn't even try. I think that's the main issue, because it's he's not making it so he doesn't win it. He's just not even jumping. So he does I think if he makes a try for it.
Does he know? Does he know that guy was about to do that?
I mean, I think if you don't, that's even worse.
Yeah, that's true. And I would say Amador probably does know, in my estimation.
I think he's aware. I think it's more that he knew he was beat. There was no way he was going to. Yeah. So, and he had just saw TRA, get clattered, and it's just one of those like, there's self-preservation a little bit. He just like 2 games ago suffered a head injury.
Yeah,
I'm okay that he pulled out of that one, but is it somewhat where he might have conceded a penalty? Yeah. And it's kind of part of it, unfortunately. It's like, sometimes you have to be, just resolute and don't pull out of challenges and, try to win all your duels, but also, there's a human part of that. And it's like, I don't blame him. Because, if he goes down, we're screwed. We're playing with Edwards, and maybe you want to blood in some youngsters or whatever, but I don't know. I mean, a little far away. Exactly. I think we're a little far away from Edwards making a massive impact next season.
When Amador has been so stellar so far. So Connor, last thoughts of this game, and where do you see us going from here? Can we ride this? Is this a thing? Are we have consistency?
Actually, I have one other topic that I want to talk about that y'all kind of touched on already, but they're talking about winning away from home and winning away versus winning at home, and why are we so different? I think it's pretty simple. I think it's that away from home, we just admit that we're not good enough, and we play negative football, and we actually play for results. At home, we're trying to do something that we're just not good at, and I think we've kind of tried to do it under Rob, but then we kind of understood that we still don't have it, and he's not oblivious to it, and he actually changes. I think that was one issue that we had, is not always do we have to have 70% or 60% possession. Like, if we go away from home and have 35% possession and tie 1-1, I'm fine with that. I don't care. I want the point.
Yeah, I wish we learned this lesson when we
100%.
We did this when we back early. What was it, in 2024? Early when we played against. Was that this year when we played against Seattle and we beat them away? Or was that last year? I can't even remember.
Away was last year. Yeah.
Last year, that lesson. I mean, we gave up possession entirely and just countered the hell out of them and beat them away. And I'm like, why can't we learn this lesson?
To be fair to Pineda, I don't think the one issue that we had with all of our signings is we were so sucked into this hole of we had to play possession football. If we didn't, Gigi was going to get frustrated, Amado would be frustrated, he would be sitting back, and we just would, Gigi is not he's a possession, get the ball in the box for him striker. He's not a counter-attacking striker, and we were so pinholed in that I think under Pineda it wouldn't work. It's just let's be honest, it would work slightly.
Yeah, because it worked the times that sometimes we did it. It's just that they didn't prefer, is what you're saying.
Yeah, and but it's if you think about it, or if you were to run the numbers, I think you would be more likely to actually dominate the football and win. We just didn't take our chances most of the time.
Yeah,
right.
I mean,
on Pineda. Yeah, sorry, but on Pineda, it's something that I talked with people at the watch party about is it's Gonzalo Pineda. He was maybe bandied for maybe Liga MX's job, and whether that would have transpired or not. I feel like something that could happen is that he coaches a team that actually has the talent in the side, and because we've seen that when he has the talent in the side, he can coach them to be a good side, but it's when he has to adjust, when he doesn't have the depth and the pieces to do that, that's where he falters. He's stubborn, he wants to play protagonist football where you have the possession and all that. It's like this. I wouldn't be surprised if Pineda gets maybe that type of job where he does have kind of more top talent and can thrive.
Yeah, and then we see that if they're in Liga MX, we see them in the Champions League and they fucking shit on us. and we're like,
Right. Exactly.
damn it!
It's right. He has a squad that has players throughout it that are actually of a caliber that are equal. I think he wins trophies.
Right. It's kind of like Vincent Kompany at Bayern Munich versus when he was at Burnley. Like, Burnley obviously don't have the top talent to compete in the Prem. They did in the Championship because, yeah, you can pump money into it and, it's a different story. Now at Bayern Munich, we're seeing, yeah, okay, well, he's got enough talent to be able to play the football that he wants to play. And to a way lesser degree, Pineda is that. But it is, I think for us, for Atlanta United, it's just we have to strike that balance. Like, we have to find that bit of pragmatism, but also, be able to still be a team that, when playing at home, it's making it a fortress, not where we're getting embarrassed. And ultimately it's that. But Connor, final thoughts.
Take the points, run with them. Let's see, who do we have next? Philly.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be a rough one. Probably. That game's gonna be a crapshoot, or however you say that. But
Yeah, crapshoot.
I'm happy with it. Yeah, I'm happy. Bring home a point. I think. Looking forward, I think if we get. See, I was looking at it. If we get one win, do y'all think that if we get a win, and then we get a point somewhere else, I still don't think we get in. We have to win 2 games realistically.
It's probably that, but yeah, I mean, right now it's all this where we are relying on other people, and that usually doesn't bode well. It's and especially with our consistency, which is non-existent. Like, we're right now consistently getting draws, but that's not enough to get you in the playoffs. So
Yeah, I don't.
We'll see.
Yeah, I don't see it.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, we can definitely I feel like we can get into, if we keep things going, we can get into a play-in match.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like a decent playoff match? No. But a play-in match? I mean, the guys currently in the play-in match spot are Toronto and Montreal, 8th and 9th. And then we have Philadelphia ahead of us, tied with us with points. Then below us, we also have DC Nashville, also tied with us, 33. So, I mean, we win one, that puts us with Toronto, which is in the top position of the play-in match. Yeah, like you said, we have, 4 games left?
Yeah.
It really, really, depends on, obviously, what the other guys do, but,
Philly
if
is
we...
a must-win.
I mean, I feel like pretty much everything is, at this point, they're all talking about, we had 5 finals going into this game, and so they're playing kind of like that, because those last 2 games are, you talk to me at the beginning of the season, I say those are probably our two hardest matchups. Maybe Miami away, but Miami home. I mean, they're just so freaking good. It doesn't really matter, but we somehow beat them away, so it is what it is.
Coming into the season, both games, Miami and Columbus coming into the season were probably our 2 hardest matches, just because they played the same style of football and are just better than us at playing that style of football. So I think if you were to put us against the starting roster versus them, those 4 matches, I think we're cooked.
Yeah.
We're bad.
Yeah.
They're just better than us.
Yeah.
They're better at playing the good football. But
they are. But hey, that's why you play the game, right? Any given Sunday, right? Yeah. So you never know.
That's why you pay high-end talent.
Mm-hmm. So Alexi Marantra can just score worldy, and then the other team can just not show up and not be clinical that night. So you never know.
You take a lucky man over a good man.
Exactly. Luck over skill any day. Anyway, thank you, Connor. Yes. Have a good one, buddy. It was a pleasure talking with you once again.
Yes. See ya.
Talk to you later, man. All right. So we have one more guest to hop in for tonight to finish us off. And let's see, do we have any? We do have a bunch of comments. Okay, so Alan Salazar, a good buddy of mine. Thanks for stopping by. He says, I was wondering if you guys went to sleep after the match. Of course not. Of course not. Of course not. You know that. You know this. Sniper says, too early to talk about who we look to upgrade? I mean, yeah, we talked about it. We've talked, yeah. I mean, we've talked about it a little bit in the past, but, you know, and then it sneaks in our conversations if you hear it once in a while. But yes, I agree with you. It's probably a little too early. In the off season,
we will talk about it.
Yeah, I mean, like, again, like if you have like the list of the desirable candidates all listed out and you want us to like appraise that, like we'll look through it for you. Why not? It'll be fun. He also says, all I want.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, but as far as like, you know, naming the prospects and
yeah, we're not doing that research.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, you know, there are ways that maybe we do, but you know, that's so much. So much work. And you know, again, that should be Jonathan Spector's job. That should be all of his scouts.
Yeah. And I also don't play EAFC, so I can't just be like, oh, that one guy I used to play on my team was really good. Why don't we get him? I can't even give you that take because I don't play that game.
Right.
So.
Right. That was Thiago Almada for a lot of people.
Yeah, exactly. So. Like, people in chat would just, like, honestly just like, oh, that was my guy. And I'm like, all right, well, I don't know, dude. It's not reality, so I can't tell you. Yep. All right, Niall is joining us. How you doing, buddy? Late night. Atlanta United Fan TV After Dark.
I'm good. How are you guys?
We're hanging out. We're doing good.
Right.
Like, surprisingly high energy for a 12:36 video. And, you know, a late night game. And you know what? Hey, it's because why? We tied a team away that we absolutely had no real respectable reason in order to do that. And we did it. And I'm happy about it. So, Niall, what did you think?
I'm a bit heartbroken, honestly, because I think the way, for example, the way Brad was performing and then the Mosquera goal at the end, I was hoping that we'd be able to hold on, but we were not able to, so it kind of felt like all of the heroics that Brad and Mosquera did were for nothing, basically. It's frustrating because it's basically kind of the story of Atlanta United this season. Like, you can't hold on to a win, you drop points. Yeah, just pretty difficult right now.
Yeah, but isn't it hard to win away in MLS, Niall? Isn't that the thing that everyone says?
I mean, listen, it is, but at the same time, if you want to get into the playoffs, you got to win at least one of your away games out of the remaining that are left. And this one, I'd argue, was probably your best chance, because for me, you're not winning at Philly, you're not winning at Orlando, so this was your best chance, in my opinion.
Interesting. Okay.
Because, yeah, I mean, Orlando, they historically are not a great team at home. But
they are in fifth. But Red Bulls are in fourth.
They are. Yeah, exactly. So it's like, yeah, these were tough tests this year, even in spite of form. But, you know, it's,
Philadelphia's in 10th. I feel like if any of these, maybe that guy.
That's true, but Philadelphia...
Yeah, they play us hard. They play us really hard. Yeah, 100%. We have bad history. Like, I just remember the CONCACAF Champions League against those mothers. Like, Jesus Christ. That was such a... So, Niall, what did you... do you have any kind of... so do you think this is like a... So do we see consistency here? A pattern of us... So we tied Miami, we tied Red Bull. I mean, these are games where, you know, you look at this slate of games, you know, before the season starts, you go, these are probably losses. We tied these games. Do you think this is momentum building? Like we talked about in the past, and Rob has said, the team has had a hard time linking consistent performances together, especially when there's an away game in the middle. Is this some kind of progress?
I'd say it's progress. I think for me, the disappointment obviously was just the way that the draw happened, honestly. But I think it's definitely progress. You're playing against two of the top teams in the East, and you draw. I think it just shows the fight that the team like has had recently. So I think that's definitely a good thing. But at this point of the season, it might be a little too late. But
Yeah.
it's definitely a good thing, and maybe something to look forward to for next season.
What do you attribute that to? Where does the fight come from all of a sudden? You lose to Nashville, and then all of a sudden you tie two teams you have no business tying. Like, where did that come from?
I think the loss to Nashville was a pretty damning loss. I mean, you lose at home to a team that you frankly have no business losing at home to, and they're now in a better position than you are, and you pretty much came out flat in that first half. So I think just the disappointment of that match, I think, kind of really woke the team up a bit and like kind of made them realize like, hey, listen, we gotta perform better than this if we wanted to make it to the playoffs. I mean, Saba, for example, he seems pretty hell-bent on wanting to go to the playoffs, so there's definitely a desire to want to make that push, and there's definitely, I think, frustration within some of the players on the team.
You getting a Saba jersey next year?
No, I mean, listen, I think for me, he's probably been one of the, I think, vocal leaders in the team this season. I've just noticed him a lot more, be more demonstrative on the field, and he pretty much speaks his mind quite a bit. And he's had a decent season. I think maybe 9 goals, or so like he's had a pretty decent season. So for me, I think he's one of the guys. I mean, he works also his tail off as well. So for me, he's the guy that I think is definitely, for sure, for me, a part of the team's long-term plan. So yeah, I like Saba quite a bit.
Yeah, I hope so. I completely agree with you that I hope he's here for a long time. I'm strongly considering getting a Saba jersey because the fact of this guy, like, every match he seems like he puts everything out there. When in contrast, it doesn't seem to be some of the other guys out there don't do that as much. And it's just, you said it yourself. He seems to be an on-field leader. Like, maybe I don't know if like people listen or what have you. Like, but he puts himself in the position in order to be a candidate for that, and that's respectable to me. So I appreciate that. So while we got you here, Niall, let me hit up these last 3 comments and we'll talk through them, and then AJ will grill you on his hot 5 questions that he has ready for you. Okay? So let's go with Sniper says, yeah, all 5. I hope you got them all loaded up and ready to go. So Sniper says, all I want for a birthday gift is stealing a playoff spot in Orlando on October 19th. Win in the Lions' Den to rain on another team's parade. That was the energy I was talking about earlier tonight. Remember? I was talking about that? Like, if we just make other people upset. Like, we don't deserve it, but like, as long as we make other people upset, like, okay.
It'd be much better if it was Orlando, but I'll take it at the expense of Philly.
Yeah, I'm there for it. Doug says, I'm with you, Mike. Push. I'd rather lose trying like crazy than being pragmatic. Sniper also says, I was at the 2019 Eastern Conference Final in the now Truist Club, and that was so painful to watch. Yeah, that was, I still think that is the most painful experience I had as an Atlanta United fan, is that game. Because we should have won. We 1000% should have beaten Toronto. They weren't a good team. I don't know how they made it that far. It was luck, honestly. The guys who scored those goals scored goals for flukes. They're not like normal scoring guys. They don't typically do that. It was out of nowhere. They just are like, here's my 1% chance a season, and it worked. And that's how Toronto went, like, we're going to go into Seattle now and play them, and that's what we're going to ride on. And they got absolutely demolished because, of course, they did. They didn't have anything to do. Whereas Atlanta would have probably steamrolled them. It just sucks Jose Martinez missed that penalty. Anyway, I'm still bitter about it. Niall, take it away.
Take it away with what?
Actually, let's hear AJ's top 5 questions for you.
Yeah, I don't have anything, man. But yeah, as far as
you had all that time to think of something.
Yeah, no, I wasn't thinking about anything, man. 12:45 p.m. or a.m. right now. Yeah, I am. I'm about to go to bed, but
okay.
It's been a long day. But I think it's this. Now, as far as kind of what you saw coming into the match with the lineup, and kind of what's played out. Hindsight being 2020, what would you have done differently if you were Rob?
That was a good question. I'll give you that. That was good.
Ooh, that is a tough question.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Mm-hmm. For me, I think I would have had more of an emphasis on balls over the top instead of playing from the back necessarily, because Atlanta has tried that before at Red Bulls and has, not been that successful. I think was it last year or 2 years ago where Atlanta kind of gave away the ball multiple times and Red Bulls won 4-0. So I think that.
Ooh, when was that? Was that was last year? I think, right?
That was last year. Yeah, that was
oof. That was after we beat them too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I think that, and then also I get the 3-back system kind of, but at the same time it's like we're not comfortable with that system compared to a 4-man back line. So for me, I think I would have played that. I get why he chose 5-man back line. To offer more stability, because Red Bulls likes to whip a lot of balls in. We saw that with the first goal, for example. But for me, I would have played 4-man backline instead, because I think that offers more to Atlanta's strengths. So I think maybe those two things really. To play at Red Bulls, I think and have a successful game plan, I think it's pretty hard. Not many teams go and get a win there.
Yeah, 100% agree. Especially this season. This season, they've been something else. So the fact that we can play them like that, what does this mean to you? I'll take one of AJ's questions. I know he probably had it already loaded up, but I'll just take it for him. What does this mean to you for how we approach playing them at home very soon?
At home, I feel like you gotta be a bit different, right? I feel like for me at home, you gotta dictate more of the game. I think you gotta be, honestly, you don't need to play pretty, right? But at the same time, you have to have enough control of the game to where you can get 3 points. There were times against Red Bulls today where we didn't have control of the game. We didn't win the second balls. We lost a lot of foot races. So for me, that's something that I think the team is gonna have to change at home. They're gonna have to have control of the game, and be more on the front foot and take their chances as well.
Yeah, I feel like outside of Saba, it's hard to beat Red Bulls in a foot race, especially with the sprinting. I feel like that's half their training is just doing suicides every day. It's wild. There's there's a ball. Me and this guy from the other team are talking as a Red Bull player. We're kind of equidistant from that ball. I'm gonna win that sprint every time. That's their mentality. I'm just gonna train to win that sprint every time. It's wild to see.
And also one more thing, when don't give up on the ball when the ball is still in play. The first goal, for example, if the ball's still in play, why are you acting like the play is dead? That for me is something as well. That's if the ball's not out, then the ball's not out. You gotta be alert in that situation as well. So I think that's something as well. They're gonna have a lot of film.
It reminds me of the Miles Robinson error from last year. Remember?
The one where he gave the ball away. Yeah.
Well, like the one where like he thought it was out, but it wasn't. Like he tried to shield it out, and then the guy scooped it out from him.
Yeah.
What game was that, AJ? Yeah, you remember?
That was
Yeah, I don't remember the game, but I remember the instance, and yeah, it's exactly that.
Because it led. It was against Columbus. Is it right? It led to a goal, right?
It was Dallas. It was with Ariel.
Oh, it was with Dallas. All right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And but either way, it's that. It's like, it's almost like the whole team needs a lesson in physics. You know, it's like, hey, yeah, you know that ball might look like it's going out, and you might want to give up on it,
man.
but you at whatever miles per hour that you can run, because we've tested that. You know, we do all these physicals and all this. And yeah, you would be able to make it.
It's like
if you just ran.
Yeah, like homie, you can't run that fast, or you can, and you should know that. Like you should know how fast you can get to X, Y, and Z or whatever. Like it's funny because like Glenn, who is it tonight? Who was talking about like Marinchuk being like a very geometric player, and I thought that was a funny way of speaking about how a player is, you know, because he's just like he works in like 90-degree angles only, right? So.
I mean, I think he's more nuanced than that, but I can see what he meant by the geometric comment.
Yeah.
But it was because for me, I think I've said this multiple times now. I think he's a much lesser version of Mesut Ozil, where definitely languid looking, but I think he works a little bit harder than Mesut Ozil. But I think that's just the modern game because you have to. But maybe more one-footed as well, and looking to assist more than really score. I think usually, although Marinchuk, that really really good goal aside, I don't see him being as aggressive every single game like that.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. Oh, Niall, since you weren't here last game, do you have any comments about the Miami game at all?
I mean, I guess the ability to come back from like that first half was pretty impressive. Because for me, I thought it was gonna get even worse. I mean, when Messi came on, I was like, oh boy.
yeah.
And
it just worked out.
It just worked out, I guess. I don't know. Maybe they need to somehow pretend that Messi is playing every game or something.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Exactly.
Can we get Messi to like quick spot draft over to Philadelphia next game? So.
Yeah, we should. Somebody's gotta dress up as him or something.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Well, if that is all, we will let you go, Niall, and hopefully maybe we'll talk to you for next match against Philadelphia. That'd be fun. Maybe we could continue this crazy train of results against boogeyman teams that we have just not been able to do anything against, and here we are doing things against them. So,
maybe. All right, see you guys later.
All right, take care, buddy. Have a good night. All right, well, let's check the chat. We don't have any more comments because it is hella late. I suspect most of you will be watching this video tomorrow morning, so enjoy that while we retire for tonight. AJ, it's been real. It's been a good time hanging out at the watch party and everything. So we will catch you guys later. And AJ, sign us out if you would be so kind.
Indeed. So, guys, thank you all so much for watching, for hanging out until almost 1 a.m. That's Michael. I'm AJ. Thank you so much for watching. Remember to like, share, comment, and subscribe. We will see you in the next video. Good night.